Welcome to Grow Joyfully. It's time to make up some more tomato sauce from the green tomatoes that have ripened up. So let's get started. Tomatoes that ripen from green tomatoes in the fall are not nearly as flavorful as the ones that ripen right on the vine in the summer. This is a Black Beauty tomato, and it looks pretty firm and pretty. I'm excited to be able to taste that. Some of them that I've tasted have been a little bit bitter. I'm not sure what that's about. So here's a Black Beauty. Here's a Roma. And it's going to have a lot more spots and imperfections. So you just cut those off, put them in your compost, or give them to your chickens. And this was pink brandy wine. Here's the Dr. Wychees. So you just have to really watch them, spread them out somewhere like a garage or some sort of shelf when you bring them in and they're green, and keep an eye on them and turn them. And then as they get riper and you need to do a batch of tomato sauce, just cut off the imperfections and the tops and the bottoms and make up some really yummy marinara. So you just cut off things like this and the end, and I just cut them in half and put them in the pot. Because I have a little food processor that helps to make sauce and takes out the seeds and the skin. So you don't necessarily have to take out the core. I take out that if it's a deep core. And the bottom part, then I cut it up into, especially if it's big, cut it up into several pieces. Here's the Black Beauty. Very interesting tomato. It still has green here, so it means it's not completely ripe, but because it's getting softer, I'm going to use it and not chance having it go bad. Better to have it a little bit green and have it still good. And the Dr. Wychees. I know it's a Dr. Wychees because of its solid yellow color, and I've already saved a whole bunch of seeds, so I don't need to worry about doing that right now. Then I'm just going to fill up the pot and simmer it down, and I put them through the sauce maker or food meal. It was a beautiful Cherokee purple that had bad spots, so I just cut it all off, and my mom always used to take them and smell them and make sure there was no smell of mold or something being sour or anything else like that. Then you know it's safe to just put it in the pot and use it. You can still use a lot of tomatoes that have really bad parts on them. Like I said before, just make sure you get that cut off and you smell it. I don't smell any mold. I don't smell any sour. So I'm just going to use it and cook it down really well. It's just so nice to be able to still handle tomatoes and smell them even though it's November. I've got a whole bowl over here. You see how there's mold and things there? If you cut that off deep down in and make sure there are no dark spots, give it a smell. It smells okay. Cut off the little bottom part. Then it's good to use. I've got red tomatoes, brown tomatoes, yellow tomatoes. Here is an evergreen tomato that I'm going to salvage and use as well. I love the beautiful green insides with the pink. Isn't that a beautiful tomato? Even though it's not looking so good and it's quite squishy, I smelled it, I cut off the bad spots, and it's ready to use. Look at that beauty. Looks like this might be an Abe Lincoln, I'm not sure. I'm actually going to try it with some salt. That's still really, really good to eat. You could eat that on a BLT. So exciting. I'm going to say that I get vitamin T from these tomatoes because tomatoes make me very happy. So that's a really good vitamin, don't you think? As I said, you could slice these up and use them on BLTs. You could slice them up and dehydrate them so you had dehydrated tomato slices. I already have a whole bunch of those put away. You could use these for all sorts of things. Cut them up, slice them up, dehydrate them, and make tomato powder to add to your soups, stews, and spaghetti sauce during the winter. It's very good for you, economical, and so great to use. If the skin looks too rough or unappealing to use, then just cut that off and continue to use the inside flesh, like this. Look at this beautiful big rainbow. You can see why they call it that. Look at all the streaking and the sunburst colors. I think that's so gorgeous. My beautiful chocolate sprinkles, and it's a little squishy, so it's going to go in the marinara sauce too. What I use in the marinara sauce is dried herbs, dried garlic, dried onion. That way it makes it safe to water bath can. But make sure you follow all canning rules and recipes very carefully. Time to go out to the garage and look in the wheelbarrow to see if there's more tomatoes that are ready. I found a lot more tomatoes out there. They're not completely ripe, all of them, but they're starting to get soft, and I'm going to use them. I don't want to waste anything. I'll cut off the parts that are not usable and either put them in the compost or feed them to the chickens, so we have very little waste. When I get time, I'm going to add up how many pounds of tomatoes I grew this year and include these in them as well. It's really fun to keep track of tomatoes and how many I've grown. As you can tell, I like tomatoes a lot. I love to grow them, love to eat them, love to can them. You could still use these tomatoes to make salsa. They're firm enough and they taste really good. Just cut them up and use them in your recipe. Follow your recipe carefully. I've made probably 30 quarts of peach salsa this year. We go through it really fast because we just love it. Paul Robeson, I'm so excited. Even if I didn't get them where I could cut them and take them right off the vine and enjoy them this summer, because 2 of my plants died. I did get some on the later plants, but we're having to have them ripen up from green tomatoes, and they're not quite as appealing, but I'm still excited to have it. This is a very beautiful Anna Russian. It looks very much like the pink ox heart. It's a very beautiful, very useful tomato. I have the tomatoes simmering on low, and I will keep an eye on them. I'm limited on time today because I'm going to take my good friend and adopted mama to the doctor today and spend some quality time with her. Her 90th birthday is coming up in 12 days. She's a wonderful person, and she makes my heart warm and really fills in where the hole is from where I've lost my mom. This is all I'm cooking for today. I will simmer them all day and add the dried herbs, onions, garlic. I add a little bit of sugar to cut the acidity. It makes it a little bit easier for me to eat because sometimes the acid nature of tomatoes bothers my tummy a bit, but putting a little bit of sugar in can help rectify that problem. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on how to use your green tomatoes as they ripen up and what to do with them. Don't forget, you can make salsa with them. You can make dehydrated slices, or dehydrate your slices and powder them for food powder. You can make sauce like I'm making right now. There's a multitude of things that you can do. And then we'll put the excess either in the compost or feed them to the chickens so we have no waste at all. And we'll close that circle. So I hope you have a really good day. It's not a long video, but I think it's an important video. The sauce is cooking down, and I've added the dry herbs, onion, and garlic. There's going to be a lot of juice on there, which you can either can up to drink, or you can just pour off to make your sauce a lot thicker. I also strain off the juice and then use it for a base for minestrone soup that I also water bath can. Have a great day, and don't forget to do it joyfully. We'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.